Hey friends, welcome back. It's me, Taylor, here to talk to you a little bit about the full moon that we're having this Sunday, October the 9th. And it's happening in the afternoon around 1 p.m., at least where I am in Arizona, which is Mountain Time, not the Denver Mountain Time, more like Pacific Time right now. Anyway, this full moon that's happening this Sunday is a full moon in Aries. So that means the sun's in Libra, the moon's in Aries. And what we find in this full moon is that the winds of Libra season, windy, Libra's an air sign. And so it can be very windy, metaphorically. And it can show up, that windiness, as relationship dynamics that throw us off balance. It's like people constantly having needs or differences of opinion or things that you see that are wrong, and you're like, no, I want it this way. And they're like, well, I want it this way. And you don't really know that you wanted it that way that badly until someone else came along and was like, let's do it my way. Right. So that's what I'm talking about. And it can be a lot of different people. It doesn't have to just be the one person you're in relationship with, but that Libra Aries axis does speak to us more of being on a one-on-one relationship, but it can be like all the people that we're in relationship with who all help us find who we are. Sometimes it's not, like I said, until you're in that situation where there's something that you don't want that eventually helps us to define and come back to center. Much like Napoleon Hill has a quote that I'll read. It's mostly like the oak tree, right? So Napoleon Hill's quote is, "The strongest oak tree of the forest is not the one that is protected from the storm and hidden from the sun. It's the one that stands in the open, where it is compelled to struggle for its existence against the winds and rain and the scorching sun." So because trees bend in the wind, that ultimately gives them their strength. They're blown this way, but they don't actually blow over. They don't let someone else get their way all the time. And not just for the sake of not letting someone else get their way, but because it's like, hey, that's not what I want. And I'm here and I'm alive and I deserve, to stand up for my own values. And so then swaying the opposite way, swaying forward, swaying back, all the ways helps us then, like an oak tree, develop this strong spine or this strong trunk that allows us to stand in our space and come back to center. And so we're able to strengthen our core when we're in relationship with others. And that helps us to strengthen our own identity. I also want to say that the full moon is meeting up with Chiron on Sunday. It met up with the sun today when I'm recording this, which is Friday. And so on Friday, we may have something that comes up again on Sunday because it's like shining a light on this wound that we've had since we were very young. It's a part of us. It's part of who we are, whatever that is, being abandoned or being betrayed or, not being good enough or not learning enough or not making enough money or whatever that wound is. I wonder if something has come up for you on Friday. And then on Sunday, the evolution of Chiron is really about how do we heal that ourselves? What do we need to heal that? And how can we then share that with other people who may be interested in learning about our journey as well? We've got Saturn, this planet of structure and maturity and hard work, at this really important point between the sun and the moon when this full moon happens. It's called the point of Thales. It means that Saturn is forming a friendly sextile aspect to the moon, and it's forming a really strong flowing trine aspect to the sun. And when it's in that position, it serves as a mediator. And having this authority figure that is Saturn in this mediator position, it helps us to mediate between how we shine and our emotional needs and how someone else shines and their emotional needs. And we're invited to recognize our deep-seated habits, our reactions, and then find the container that we need to maturely respond in a way that serves our growth and our healing and strengthens us at our core. Because when we can stand tall and knowing who we are, then we can show up for the people we love when windy times hits. And I will say that next year, we're going to have Jupiter and Chiron meet up in Aries, and this is probably a little bit of a foreshadowing period where we're looking at that wound because it's coming up with the sun, it's coming up with the moon. And when Jupiter gets there and the sun and moon get there in the spring of next year, we're going to be invited again to revisit this. And it's going to be on a bigger scale. It might be personal for some of us, but it's going to be more about how we all heal and how we know who we are now that the pandemic is coming to its close. Saturn is moving into Pisces, Pluto is moving into Aquarius. There's big tectonic shifts happening, and it continues the tectonic shifts that have been happening over the past, in all of history, but recently, right, during the pandemic. It's really changed who we are. And so we're going to be asked to say, like, what is this wound I feel in my identity? It's coming up for healing. It's feeling bigger. It's needing more attention. And how do I address the elephant in the room that, like, I'm not that person anymore. I'm someone else. I have different needs, and I'm ready to let it go. I'm ready to address it. I'm ready to accept it, acknowledge it, and have that become a part of myself, even if it is painful to other people or it's painful to myself. Sometimes addressing that pain of who we are and our essential identity, and just, letting it all go and being like, I just don't have any more cares to give about what other people think about me. I have to be myself. Otherwise, I just can't anymore. It's that. It's like, who are you? And knowing that it's okay and that people will accept you. People will support you for who you are, and sharing your journey, showing up, bringing your full self wherever you go and wherever you need to be. So use this time to really start thinking about that, start journaling about that, start having the conversations with people that you're in relationship with about who you are, what you need, and what the future looks like. So hope you have a good full moon, and let me know in the comments how it goes for you and what comes up. All right, I'll see you again next time. Bye now.